Now, I'm doing this video now in between the first and second period of all these games and before the later game starts, which is at 2 minutes from now. Edmonton forward Zach Kassian has been suspended 2 games without pay for violating Rule 46.2, aggressor. So they're charging that he beat up a defenseless opponent. I guess is what the aggressor goes towards. During an altercation with Calgary Flames forward Matthew Tkachuk during game number 700 in Calgary on Saturday, January 11th. The incident occurred at 18:06 of the second period. Kassian received 2 minor penalties for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct. He forfeits $20,967. The money that they deduct. So when you get fined, suspended, goes to the Players Emergency Assistance Fund. So let's go to this Rule 46.2. Aggressor. The aggressor is an the aggressor in an altercation, shouldn't say is, in an altercation shall be the player or goalkeeper who continues to throw punches in an attempt to inflict punishment on his opponent who is a defenseless position or who is an unwilling combatant. A player or goalkeeper who must be deemed the aggressor when he's clearly won the fight but continues throwing and landing punches in a further attempt to inflict punishment and or injury on his opponent who is no longer in a position to defend himself. Player or goalkeeper who is deemed to be both the instigator and aggressor in an altercation shall be assessed an instigating minor penalty, major penalty for fighting, 10-minute misconduct, and game misconduct penalty for being an aggressor. So, the interesting thing to me is that they didn't throw him out of the game. I was actually kind of surprised that they didn't throw Kassian out of the game. Not because of anything overly... great, now it went away. Not because Kassian did anything really that over the top, but because when a player's that out of control, I think a game misconduct gets him out, and it stops any further incidents. Like, for instance, he could have come back into the game and just said, you know what, I'm not done, and gone after either Tkachuk or somebody else was on the ice. So I think sometimes a game misconduct is good for diffusing those situations before they get worse. I honestly, I don't think that it's, and I get it, people are going to be mad on both sides of this, which means the NHL probably got it somewhat right. There are people who wanted 5 games or more for Kassian. There are some who wanted nothing, and of course, right away underneath that tweet from Player Safety are people saying, well, what about Tkachuk? What's Tkachuk going to get? So this is how the NHL works now, and we'll see what happens. I think this was done as much to diffuse a future incident between the two teams as anything. I don't know that this does that or not, and we'll see how the Oilers perform over the next couple of games without Kassian in the lineup, and we'll see what happens when he comes back, and especially against the Flames in their next game. I thought it was really telling, too, that when they interviewed James Neal about it, James Neal basically said it's a lack of respect shown by Tkachuk towards Kassian in terms of both the hits that were thrown in the game and the fact that he wouldn't answer the bell. So this is just... I don't know that this is necessarily over until after these teams play each other again, which is coming up at the end of the month, and we'll see what happens then. Let me know your thoughts regarding this suspension in the comment section below, as I know people will. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And again, I think the NHL probably gets it right because nobody's going to be happy with the suspension. And I don't think anybody was going to be. The aggressor rule, does that stand? Or is this a situation where, again, Tkachuk's saying he wouldn't have fought, so he's an unwilling combatant. So technically it's under this rule, but you're going to hear a lot of former and current players saying, but he should have stood up for what he did. And again, it's that area that I think the NHL needs to find some clarification with. I don't know how they're going to do that, because any suggestions made are going to be met with a lot of scorn from either side when they come through. So I really don't envy the NHL in these situations at all. Not in the slightest. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. We'll see what happens next. I'll talk to you again soon.